Hello everyone, my name is Mitz. Here we are by Higurashi When They Cry. So, surprisingly, last episode, Satoshi's here. He's now a character, she has a crush on him, and it seems we're going through the rest of the story with him as an important focal point, which honestly makes everything so much more interesting here. It was implied like a tiny bit that Shion did know who Satoshi was, even the whole thing of like chastising Keiichi from I guess trying to sweep under the rug, or like that's what it seems like from her perspective. That he quote unquote transferred away. Yeah, no. But since she has a crush on him, yeah, everything's a bit more tiny bit more sensitive on her end when like came out with Keiichi, which is an interesting thing about again. And also re-looking through interactions Shion had with Keiichi this second installment, then Keiichi also like patted her head right before they went to the toy store and the whole Mion Shion debacle thing happened. And she also really enjoyed that whole thing too. Plus I hope to God that Lily does a small thing of Shion just patting and just like just petting him just Satoshi's head is the thing that causes the whole small inside joke in the group that Rika does. Or Rika just did it on her own. Either way, it's still so funny. It's still so funny. But like yeah, probably the way how Shian gets like, found out by her family is yeah, literally like maybe being spotted here at the baseball stadium, or like just from Satoshi like Shian like trying to like be around Satoshi even more. That's how she gets find out. And there was also the whole thing that in that tips that Satoshi is getting a new job at a grocery store, maybe in Okonomiya. And Mion gave him that, so yeah, that's gonna be interesting. That whole debacle thing again, that's gonna be so fun. Hey there! How are you guys doing in the heat? Oh, hi again. Oh, Mion-san. We're doing good. I figures you're gonna be here, you goddamn coach. It's kind of your name, goddamn it. I don't trust you at all. Still, I don't trust you at all. We're doing good. Is that a refreshment? Thanks a bunch. Only one. It's not for you. You're such a great manager. I just felt like coming here. Oh my god. Oh, it wasn't that the whole thing. Like it was. Oh, Shion was the one everyone mentioned about being a manager. But then oh god, that makes so much more sense. Oh god. I just feel like coming here. I didn't bring this for you, by the way. And don't treat me as your manager without my permission, please. Oh, cool. Okay, the orange and yellow really actually pairs nicely with your hair. Honestly, it looks really good. It looks really good, Satoshi. We'd be a stronger team if you were our manager, Mion. Why don't you apply? Ms. Manager, I mean. Satoshi couldn't smile at me in a carefree manner. I don't want to become their manager. It'd be tiresome. Yeah, have fun trying to intermingle with your own schedule with that and with Mion's. Yeah, have fun. And then you have to keep on this whole thing with Mion knowing like letting Mion know about the managerial duties and all that, and Coach being at the school with Mion and all that. That's gonna be a whole kerfuffle. That's gonna be a huge fiasco. It's a new scandal of the school year. I don't want to become their manager. It'd be tiresome. I've been coming every week though, so I'm a quasi-manager already. Oh my god, how much time has passed? Oh jeezums. Well, if I feel like it. I mean, how's Satoshi-kun doing, Coach? Is his batting average improving? Yes, he's doing fine. His batting average is, well, it's nothing to laugh at or praise, but it's there, up there. You buy 3 packs of rice crackers at 7th Mart. Does that mean it's 30%? Wow, you're doing great, Satoshi-kun. I'm gonna assume that's a slight improvement, but not enough for his taste. That sounds like a semi-insult. God. I'm just with a number, Mion. How to be able to hit the ball when it really counts. It's good to hear you're aware of weaknesses, Satoshi-kun. That's actually another thing. The weaknesses being brought up. I still don't think, like, he technically would have the wherewithal to like kill his aunt, because even if he did, it would definitely like he doesn't seem like from the outside he's good at strategy and planning things out, like how Keiichi was in the in the 3rd installment. But as evidenced by he didn't even know how to shop and all that, and like there was even that like an anecdote that Shion just made up on the fly, which was actually true for him. That he didn't bother taking his money out until he was to leave the bus, and by then everyone was already like, you know, going ahead of him. He's not good at planning, and if he just did in the heat of the moment, it must be somewhere. It must be a whole heap of situations and all that, because again, someone else has rushed for it, and like confessed to it. It feels like it wouldn't. It doesn't feel like it would be him. It doesn't feel like it. Don't know how he acts when the club activities start and all that. Maybe he's a completely different person there, but for now, it kind of just seems like since he's playing along with Mion and all that, and well, quote-unquote Mion, Shion thing here, it seems like he acts like this all the time, so, there's that. It's good that you're aware of your weaknesses with Satoshi-kun. You just continue working on them for now. Irie signaled to the pitcher, who then threw the ball. Satoshi-kun looked calm, following the ball with his eyes. Then he swung. Thwack! Ew! Goes into the sky and the clouds. The ball flew between the first and second bases and landed in the distance. Wow! That's great! Good job, Satoshi-kun! I clapped, and Satoshi-kun blushed a response. He resisted his helmet to hide his face. Well, he's gonna practice some of the game is slow. Irie smiled compassionately. So he's good when the stakes are low then. He's not good at when things are more fast-paced. I see. That doesn't bode well for the club activity games then. It seemed that Satoshi-kun really couldn't perform well when it counted. Like, besides, like, Keiichi's, like, parallels with him and all that, I guess what their pure strengths are completely opposite, honestly. Just in the sound of it. Huh. So many parallels and yet so different. When he was usually good, when everyone expected him to perform, he couldn't. That means you just gotta throw insults, and then he gets above and beyond that, apparently. I didn't think it was because of nervousness. He just couldn't do it. I think it's perfect fit for Satoshi-kun's character. He seems calm at first glance, but he's actually slow. That's not very nice. Like a snail. Numerically speaking, you're a great player, but you need to be able to hit the ball even when things get serious. That's why you're an easy out in the match of the Yukita Jaguars the other day. Shut up, I know that. If he'd been able to hit the ball then, he would have been a hero. What a shame. That's masked insults. He could have put the offense into the lead, or at least given them an extension. That was when Satoshi-kun came with the bat, and everyone collectively groaned in response because they know everything's ruined now. My god. Irie wanted to live up to everybody's expectations, but statistically, that wasn't likely to happen. It's not going to be a Chicken Little situation right there. Just gets 2 strikes when you can barely even hold the bat, and then third strike, home run, just stares in the distance. Oh, shut up, I need to run! Runs in the wrong direction. Yet Irie insisted on giving him a chance, despite the fact that all the team members had suggested a pinch hitter. Oh, it would have been perfect if you could have hit it. Why didn't you? Why can't you hit the ball in a situation that really matters? That you're not helping. There's nothing I could do. I know I'm weak in a situation like that. I thought a pinch hitter was a better idea too. It's not about the match, it's about you, Satoshi-kun. It's about putting in all your effort. Practice makes perfect and all that. Yeah, do more, as Mion would say. Arg. You need to be more aggressive. Shouldn't you have thought the opposite way? She insisted that you'd come up to bat, no matter what everybody else said. I can't believe you wanted to give away the chance to some pinch hitter. Why are you so weak like that? And that's what I'm always telling him. I know that's one of his good points too, but you can be a gentleman at other times, but when playing games, you should be a demon. Technically, you're all half demons, but let's not get into that again. I think all men should have those two sides to them, like a coin, or there be a 3-sided coin or anything like that. No one can see the third side. You need to let your demon out, Satoshi-kun. Become a demon. That's... Oh my gosh, Mion! You just gave me an idea to kill someone, to murder someone. Wait, what? You're native to Hinamizawa, so never forget that you have the demon's blood running through your veins. Are you listening to me, Satoshi-kun? Are you listening? Shakes his shoulders aggressively. Satoshi-kun just shake hard enough until he gets swirls in his eyes and he falls down. I am. I'm not sure, but... What aren't you sure about? We're talking about you. This is you we're talking about. So... Whoa. Oh god, again. Satoshi-kun suddenly started stroking my head. I looked delighted for some reason, just to make you quiet down also. I really want to know if Satoshi did this during the school and like Mia just like gave him hell for it. I would love to hear the aftermath of that. I honestly would. A blush immediately spread across my face. I didn't know how to respond. You give me advice, right? Thanks. I'll do my best. Hey! Don't you try to fool me. I'm not. I'm just happy you care about me. I couldn't resist his hand. I couldn't help mumbling like he does. Satoshi-kun ran back to the field, leaving me red as a beet. Okay, do you feel good when you have your head stroked? Depends. If it were you, I'd have to teach you a new martial arts technique. What? Ah, what a shame. I don't get what you mean by that. Unless it's the martial arts technique onto him and not teach him purely it. Karate chop in the fucking face. Alright, everyone, gather around. Why don't you split into groups and have a practice match? Yes, go against each other. The Hinamizawa fighters are sort of a lazy team of Lazy Town. Members gather simply to enjoy playing baseball and to fight for victory. Yet that one time in the third installment, everyone was gearing up trying to beat that one guy. Well, there's like collective enemies, so well, there's that too. So yeah. The Okinomiya Titans use this field too, but they practice on a different day of the week. They always train hard using dumbbells and stuff. Yes, throw the dumbbells and use the pitch. Strike it with the baseball bat. I know, it's just literally just a weird workout thing. It's just if you want to be able to throw the ball, you must be able to lift these fucking weights. Never skip arm day. Oh god. Our team split into two groups and started the match, retaining their loose atmosphere. I'll keep track of the score. Coach, do you have a pencil? Thanks for helping out. Here. I took the pencil and the clipboard. I didn't know how to differentiate between recording hits and errors at first, but now I was used to it. Show me what you got, Satoshi-kun! Oh, maybe a bit too much pressure if I cheer for you too incessantly. Do bad! Just do okay then. Moderately. Just do adequately. Average. That doesn't sound very encouraging either. Well, what do you want me to say? Do your best. Time passed slowly that Sunday. Lazy Sundays. Huge white clouds appeared in the sky. They made me feel healthy. Humans are born to be active under the sun. I thought you were going to say humans are social animals, but that's also true. Mostly people get seasonal depression when winter comes along or like the rain comes. Yeah, I like those two settings though. Yeah, melancholy. One of the parents was acting as umpire today, so Eerie sat on the bench with me. Oh well, now you're a bench warmer. He shouted words of encouragement to the kids while they ran to their positions. Any other baseball coach would constantly berate them, but he was much more generous, like a kindergarten teacher. He let the kids have fun while watching over them. To other baseball players, it might look a little naive. I'm surprised you guys can do well with only a small amount of practice. They're just good enough, okay? There's a small, tiny bit of talent in their own wee little heads. Kids in Hinamizawa romp around every day, so the amount of exercise they get surpasses that of the city kids. Besides, too much training is not always effective. Yeah, there's always a thing is too much. Wow, you think completely differently from the Okinomiya Titans. I can understand why their coach hates you. It's not about being right. Matches exist for someone to win, after all. So prioritizing victory certainly isn't wrong. I think it's admirable to aim for victory together. But the goal of our team doesn't happen to be victory, that's all. The Hinamizawa fighters and Okinomiya Titans have been rivals for a long time. Both teams share the same baseball field for one thing. They're territorial, like hungry animals. Technically, if the Hinamizawas are like the half-demons and all that, what kind of creatures are the Okonomiyas? Are they like kappas or yokais or something like that? What are they? Tell me! I want to know! That should be the mascots, honestly. The Hinamizawa fighter is a demon. Just a red costume mascot, just him with with just a pitchfork going on the field and just waving around like a cheerleader. Oh my god, that suddenly amuses me too much. Both teams share the same baseball field for one thing. Originally, there was only one team. The people living in Hinamizawa left and made their own. Well, anyhow. We were rivals. Nothing can change that. Shake fist to sky. Okonomiya times were strictly about winning, and the Hinamizawa fighters were just about having fun. Surprisingly, our scores weren't that different. Oh god, you're evenly matched. That's even worse. That's even more terrible. Good god. Which meant our team had something they didn't. Even though I couldn't put into words, I knew what made that happen. Hey, Team 1! No slacking! You can make up the 2-point difference pretty easily. Team 2, no slacking here either. Counter them! Still, some parents would criticize their coach for being too lenient. But still, others would strongly agree with him. Which side would I take? Make a decision like the growing adult you are. The latter? I can't really say for sure. I think they're pulling up the thematic again of the conversation that she had with me on as well in the library. I guess being of a good leader anyway. Like, do you focus on like harmony, or like making sure everyone is like taking, I guess everyone's, I guess, pleased or like, pleasant around. Because it actually does make sense, like how Mion takes that, especially under Oreo's, teaching and all that what happened to Dam project. It's actually probably one of the big reasons why that's why no one ever talks about the curse to Keiichi. That, and because of Reina and her let's just say passionate ramblings about the subject. That's also an contributing factor, but it makes sense. I guess it could also go into why oh boy, she does not want to have what is the word for it, that any dissenters, honestly, like has been like a big thing in the product itself. Letting anyone there's some disagreements, it makes everything weaker, so cut them out quickly. Which oh boy, yeah. Which side should I take? The latter? I couldn't really say for sure. Reason for this was that Eri had an obnoxious habit of sexual harassment, yes. And particularly a fascination with maids, but I should talk about that some other time. Let's never talk about it again. Satoshi couldn't let the ball pass twice to see its trajectory, then hit in the third pitch and ran to first base. Oh god, you did do it, Chicken Little. You hit in the third strike. Ah! Oh, he did it. Oh wait, no. Oh, he did it! Yeah! Be more excited, yo. He's so good when he's relaxed. In the beginning, he used to get tired very easily. He's improved quite a lot since then. He really does look kind of like a bookworm. Yeah. I wonder why he started playing baseball in the first place. To get stronger? To get stronger to help murder someone, maybe? Meh. I still don't think he did it, though. All of the kids who joined the baseball team loved baseball. They go out to play in the fields outside of practice. That's why they all had such an attitude for it. But Sis never said that Satoshi couldn't exercise as intensely in school or anywhere else. He only likes to read. That's why I didn't understand why he started playing for this team to begin with. That's because I invited him. Is that so? Oh god, don't tell me that Satoshi did another... I don't buy for a second that the Satoshi had his own, Keiichi moment in the third installment. I do not buy that for a second after everything's been said. What reason? You recruited him. Did you notice some sort of hidden talent then? Excuse me, can I have a cup of barley tea? Thank you. Eri asked for Tea in a suspicious manner. Okay. While I constantly joked around, I knew he was actually a very mature person. I assumed he was trying to evade my question. Is there a particular reason? You were the one who said it aloud, Soma. Come on, spill the tea, or I'll spill it for you onto your shirt. Yuri pretended he didn't hear me, but I pressed him on it. In response, he shrugged and began answering the question. I think you might be able to guess. What would be Mion Sonozaki's guess? That based on how everyone talks in this game, well, because same writer and all that, literally just for Toshi to man up, basically. I quickly searched through the data I had in Satoshi-kun, running through the database of your mind. I came with Satoshi-kun's family circumstances. Ah, that too. Well, that's another thing. Oh boy. Well, like, if Sadako is like, what does Sadako do if like, from the sounds of it, Satoshi's like has baseball practice and then also a job from that last tip then. Huh. He lost his parents in an accident a year ago. Since then, he's been having a tough time at his uncle's home. So you invited him so that he can vent? Sports are great. You can free yourself through exercise. I thought that as long as he concentrated on something else, he could forget about his troubles at home. Yeah, I can get that. It didn't work for me, though. You know, he's usually sort of a daydreamer, zoning out all the time. Is he still stressed? I knew Satoshi-kun must be suffering, even though he didn't look like it. But Mion Sonozaki never pays attention to things like that. Not to act like she does. So never notice that something's wrong with people until it gets too worrying, honestly. Oh boy. Oh boy, that's a terrible weakness there. Satoshi-kun got really sick after his uncle took him into custody. He had many clinical symptoms, but the causes were unknown. Satoshi-kun often got sick, and was taken to his uncle's custody. He suffered from fatigue and migraines. He suffered from a lack of energy and sleeplessness. That literally just is depression. The coach, Dr. Erie, soon realized Satoshi-kun was suffering from a psychological disorder. Most of the people in Hinamizawa knew how bad Satoshi-kun's environment was. It was natural for him to become sick, because he entered that bad environment right after his parents' deaths. And from the sound of it, like, both Satoshi and Sadako were living, like, in a situation for over 2 years straight. Because, what was it, parents went over a handrail, like, in the park 1 year. The next, was Rika's parents, and she's living her own. Then it was, the aunt and Satoshi this year. Satoshi cannot express himself freely. Whether it's crying or simply being agitated, he's not good at handling those emotions. That's true. I can't imagine him being angry or crying. He is stoic, and I guess you could say it's hard to make him mad and all that, at least now. Even if he was... It feels like he would definitely have that sort of thing now. He's been conditioned to not, like, let his emotions through anyway. If he still has it, or, like, he just feels empty now. Did you know that Satoshi-kun's mother had been married a few times already? Yeah, doesn't really help matters either. I know a little bit about that. Satoshi-kun's mother had been married a number of men over the years. It meant Satoshi-kun had several stepfathers. He had to deal with strangers coming to his home multiple times, so he was forced to be mature. So there was that, and then I'm also forced to grow up in an abusive environment. There's that as well. Yay. Yep, yeah, well there it is, like, plain as day. Satoshi-kun is mentally underdeveloped. He isn't aware of himself, though. He didn't have enough time to cry, laugh, and throw tantrums in his childhood. He was forced to become a grown-up in just a short time. That doesn't sound right. Children have to behave like children in order to grow. There's nothing positive about being forced to become an adult. Not only was Sadako's current relationship with her aunt conspicuously terrible, I heard that her relationships with her previous stepfathers weren't good either. Yeah. Sadako always caused problems. And Satoshi-kun would always step in to protect her. I thought his physical symptoms came from the stress. His body was trying to warn him. That's why Eri invited Satoshi-kun onto the baseball team. He told Satoshi they needed a new member, or something like that. He hesitated at first. After I talked to him at the clinic a few times, he began to open up to me. At first, I invited him to come see the practice. Then I suggested he try batting. I eased him into it. Sports worked excellently for Satoshi-kun. His health quickly improved, and he started to become interested in baseball. He practiced batting, he was soon able to swing beautifully, and he learned how to see the trajectory of the ball. Ah, I can imagine that. He likes to read, so he must have read a book titled How to Play Baseball or something like that. I'm pretty sure reading about it and doing it is two completely different things. He's become a good batter very quickly. He's put forth a lot of effort. Now I wish he could actually hit when it comes down to the wire, too. Yeah, have fun trying to... I don't even know how you would be able to teach that to a kid then, honestly. Plus, I'm, oh boy. I don't know, like... probably, like, used to a lot of, like, trying... Oh, that's a thing, like, always good at, like, trying to stay calm and all that in every situation, like, even when things are just a bit pressurized and all that. But, like, when it's a more relaxed room like this, ooh. Are you guys close? I think so. You talked to me about this problem, so I guess that's a sign of trust. I feel a bit jealous of how confidently Eri said that. While Satoshi-kun and I were friends, we weren't so close that we'd open up to each other like that. Probably because you're keeping a facade up! Ah! Makes sense, but still. Sad. Oh. Are you jealous? Huh? About what? Taken aback, I blushed. Voice crack. Eri started laughing at me. Please stay as his good friend. Well, yeah. I'm trying. Can we stop talking about this, please? I didn't know what I was saying. You know, regarding Satoshi-kun... Ah, anime glare! Ah, go away! He seems a little sick again lately. Oh boy. What? Oh. Thwack! Oh my gosh, home run! The ball flew to the left. The left fielder managed to catch it. Shit. Someone tackle him right now. Make sure the ball doesn't get out. Quickly. It seems the relationship between Sadako and her aunt had gotten worse lately. There's obviously sickness had something to do with that. Their aunt is bullying Sadako-chan in a terrible way. She's become worn out after all that. And... so... Satoshi-kun is also worn out. From covering for Sadako, isn't he? I wasn't interested in Sadako, so I switched the subject back to Satoshi-kun. I didn't know much about Sadako. I knew she's a big part of Satoshi-kun's life, but I'd never been interested in her until today. She must have been building up self-esteem taking care of her unreliable brother. Yeah, like, you won't be able to, I guess, convincingly make him, pull the whole thing, like, yeah, I know her, even though, like, I definitely been, like, you know, spending time with her, club activities and all that, every day, yeah, I definitely know her. Yeah, you won't be able to lie your way through that. That was all I knew about her. But considering Satoshi-kun's personality, even that goofiness of his might have been an act. Maybe he's trying to make her feel good about herself by letting her take care of him. If only unconsciously. When he's alone, he's surprisingly strong. I realized that only recently. So I couldn't help but think that his whole life is constantly affected by Sadako. Satoshi couldn't manage to get along with his stepfathers even though he experienced some stress. He was also getting along with his aunt. But in order to protect Sadako, he was to step in and suffer. I didn't really know anything about Sadako, but I had to admit, I felt hostile toward her. I felt jealous because she was monopolizing him. Oh boy. It seems that our aunt has been tyrannizing Sadako-chan even more lately. Let's see what's causing Satoshi-kun's sickness. Eri heaved a sigh. As he said, Satoshi-kun had been absent a few times lately. He seemed a bit tired too. He looked normal when around everybody else, but he looked a bit depressed when he was alone. So you invited him to join the team to relieve his stress, didn't you? Yes, that's right. But he looks stressed again now. It's probably, like, way too big to even, like, begin to mask it, I guess. Not even to, like, I guess like have your body language like lie about your body language either. My God. Oh boy, it's big. How can we save him this time? I don't know. He smiled powerlessly. I couldn't help feeling a bit disappointed about that, because Satoshi couldn't put his trust in him. Just between you and me, Satoshi-kun recently told me they wanted to leave the team. Hmm. Huh? How come? You claim he was tired of it. That's what he said. But I believe he actually wants to spend more time with Sadako-chan. He thinks that Sadako-chan might end up being tortured while he's at practice. I think he's concerned about that. Yeah, so that he's not going to be in the team anymore unless Sadako has, I guess, some outlet or like some way to be busy another way. Hmm. I was up speechless for a while. Sadako again. Sadako. Why did Satoshi couldn't have sacrificed so much for her? Just by ignoring her, her stress would melt away. Of course, I knew he couldn't do that. If that were the case, then the blame lay with his little sister. You're going down some dangerous attitudes here. Okay, I'm me on the exact same thing here, and I'm like Shion, you're a good character, but this is the one thing I don't agree with you on. Okay, please stop. Backpedal, reevaluate. I'm a reboot system, please. Like it's not entirely her fault. I mean, sure, there's a whole thing about him, like him, like calling him one of the stepfathers or to be abusive and all that, but I don't know if like around this time is when it is. I mean, from the sound of it, she doesn't even know about that. It just seems like she's just blaming like Sadako for just being inside an abusive situation anyway. That's what it sounds like to me, just how everything's laid out. Which is that's a terrible mentality to have. Victim blaming and all that. My God. Like it's oh my gosh, it's all your fault you're in this situation. Yay. Yay. I knew how badly she'd been treated, but it only happened because she made things worse for herself. What, you think that I'm like unless you're gonna say unless you're gonna go down the whole rabbit hole of Sadako pushed her parents across like against the handrail and all that, and then she put herself in this position to be abused by her uncle or an aunt? Man, it just seems like she made things worse for herself, and she pretty much put herself in the situation. Yeah, no, that just wow. It was her fault that she couldn't establish a decent relationship with her aunt. I mean, do you even know what happens? If Sadako were more mature, like Satoshi-kun, her home life wouldn't have gone so bad. Didn't we just have a conversation that Satoshi basically grew up being more mature because all the stress happening because of their situation? It feels like, and it's probably just because you're just yeah, it is really just jealousy because you're gonna not get enough time to hang out with them, but like, oh, good God. Oh, good God. Satoshi wouldn't have suffered those indirect blows. In the meantime, the baseball team's practice match had become one-sided. It wasn't even worth watching anymore. Members of the losing team were just goofing off. The sky turned cloudy too. It was depressing. It didn't look like it would rain soon, though. The gray sky hadn't brought along any cool air. It just felt disgusting. Eri became quiet. He was looking down and around his feet. I, meanwhile, just stared at Satoshi-kun. To me, he didn't look active anymore. He was once able to enjoy playing baseball, and he felt fine. But he got sick again, just because the relationship between Sadako and her aunt had deteriorated. That, or literally just no matter what they did, it wasn't good for their aunt. Just didn't it wasn't up to her exact measurements and all that. But you wouldn't know that. But it just feels weird putting all the blame onto her anyway, just because I'm a sibling relationship. And I don't know how many years apart. I guess Satoshi and like Sadako like are in ages, but like you also but like you have a sibling too, and I do as well. I feel like that kind of feeling of I guess trying to protect each other would be kind of mutual. I mean, no, that's how me and my sister do. like in some way like almost tag team and all that, or just mentioned before just casually manipulate each other, just do things we want for the other to do and all such like things like that. I couldn't help but say it. Shouldn't we do something about Sadako instead? It was just a murmur, but Eri had definitely caught it. What do you mean, Sonozaki-san? I mean, it's not that complicated. We take her out! If Sadako were stronger, Satoshi-kun wouldn't have to deal with stress. I think Sadako is the cause of everything. Again, I'm mostly tied and, like, I'm wondering if you heard anything about the whole phone call situation before the uncle and aunt ride, because if not, this seems so much out of left field for you to think, or just jealousy talking. If you have the information, it makes more sense, but still, it just feels, it feels icky. I don't know about that. Yes, you do. It didn't cause any trouble. He wouldn't have had to step in, would he? He wanted to take over in a fight between Sadako and her aunt, right? You're acting like you know everything about the situation right now. Satoshi-kun never got scared of any trouble. No matter how formidable the enemy, he'd bravely stand up to protect the weak. I knew that because I could vividly imagine it, and technically you were also a part of the situation, so there's that too. Whenever their aunt tried Sadako, Satoshi-kun steps in, protect her. The aunt probably didn't like it. Though Satoshi-kun didn't have to fight, the aunt would attack him anyway. The fight would then be between the aunt and him. Sadako might then tease the aunt by sticking her tongue, hiding behind his back and pretending to be scared. What? She'd never think about how deeply he was being hurt. Because of Sadako, Satoshi-kun had become cornered and stressed. I'm surprised to hear this from you, Sonozaki-san. I thought you were Sadako-chan's friend or classmate. A big sister kind of figure. I thought you'd always be on our side. But what you just said is surprising to me. He looked at me suspiciously. Oh no, the cover is being blown. I can tell he's thinking about me. I'd said too much. Mian Sonozaki and Sadako Hojo were friends. Are friends, I mean. They're close, so Mian should have been encouraging her. And the situation at home got tougher. That's what Mian was supposed to do. I had totally forgotten about that and spoken as myself. It's only natural that Eri would give me a suspicious look. He might end up changing his impression of Mian Sonozaki entirely. I had to apologize to her about this and ask her to put things right. I totally messed up. Even so, I didn't think I said anything wrong. I objectively looked at the situation and made a modest proposal. I mean, to be honest, I was simply afraid that he might leave the team. Yeah, that's what I figured it was going to be, but oh boy, that still feels weird how you laid out the train of thought right there. I couldn't go to the school in Hinamizawa, so the baseball field was the only place where I could see him. I could even say that he was my reason for living. Oh my god, that phrase coming back again. Reason to live. God fucking damn it. God. Matt's right. I was in love with him. I wasn't gonna tell him how I felt, for I was just satisfied by being by his side. I surely couldn't ask for anything more here. After all, I couldn't reveal my true identity. I had to pretend to be Mia in order to live in Okinomiya. I thought that maybe I should leave Okinomiya in order to be free, but that's stupid. No matter how tough my life might be, I prefer to be right here, with Satoshi-kun stroking my head every now and then. Why did I love him that much? I read about it in some manga once. You don't need a reason to be in love. I'm surprised myself for being like this. Yeah, I remember having that sort of conversation, I think in, like, well, just trying to figure things out in middle school or high school, but I was ashamed of liking some certain things, and I was just wondering if is there a psychological reason why you like this stuff or that stuff? But literally everything I come up with is just, you just like things because you like them. That's literally just it. And I think that's how love extends to as well. That's what it feels like anyway. Sometimes it hits you right out of the blue. Into the sky, baseball metaphor. It just comes out of nowhere sometimes. Ooh. Calm down, Shion. I breathed out slowly, then held my breath. Wait, Shion, who's that? Eri said. Trying to slow my throbbing heart. I felt a bit calmer. At that point, a clear thought came into my head. I want to be with Satoshi-kun. So? I want him to stay on the team. So? I want to get rid of his concerns and his stress. So what? So, what can I do to achieve all that? It feels like you're going down the path of manipulation here now. My head started to cool down. I heard the umpire shout. Game set! And match. 15 love. Definitely seems like that's how she's gonna spin it. She has to, like, she either has to go, oh, some days I see him, some days I don't. A clear sky gets cloudy, and rain will always stop eventually. I thought his absence was just like that, but he was actually on the verge of breakdown. Oh. Oh boy. I'm just thinking that she'll definitely have to either, like, go to Hinamizawa to, like, if she really wants to be, like, make sure Satoshi's fine, or really just get Mion to do something over the phone. The rainy season was just around the corner, and the air had become so humid that my shirt stuck to my skin. It had been a few weeks since Satoshi-kun stopped showing up for baseball practice. Oh. I looked for him as soon as I arrived at the field. He's not here yet. Did I get here too early? I wanted to see him playing the field right when I get here. I had started arriving late because of those feelings. However, he wasn't here today either. I didn't even bother hiding my disappointment anymore. Everybody knew by now how I felt. The team members from Mion's class came over to try and console me, but I shooed them away. What's going on, Sonozaki-san? Are you feeling sick? Even Eri couldn't comfort me. I was worried that he too knew why I was like this. I'm going home. I don't feel like watching the practice today. Look, we're having a meeting with the Okinomiya Titans later. Wouldn't you be there because you're a manager? Don't treat me like I'm a manager. I never agreed to be one. Unofficially. Eri looked down, not knowing what to say. Alright. Please help us again when you feel like it, then. Maybe I won't be coming back. If you really need a manager, look for somebody else. Please, do come again. Whenever you feel like it. Satoshi-kun will be sad if you're not here when he comes back. I ignored him and turned around. Well, especially since when the jig was up, then Shion basically went around and told everyone who she really was, and Koji even started referring to her, like, you know, being part of I guess the baseball team's manager again in the third installment. So, I had already set up my schedule with Mion, so I didn't have to ask her every time anymore. I tried to contact her a couple times to ask how Satoshi-kun was doing in school, but I hadn't been able to get through to her. Apparently the hag had sensed that I might be in contact with Sis. In other words, Sis was being watched, too. Result, it hasn't been easy to contact her. Kasai, who had been helping me contact her, seemed to have also been marked. People knew he was loyal to me. I hadn't seen him for a while either. Oh boy. All I could do was wonder how Satoshi-kun was doing. Okay, again, oh boy. It's almost another parallel here, like, protagonist parallel now, of a media blackout now, almost, of what's happening. I was frustrated because there was no way for me to know. My head was filled with worries, but something surprised me out of the blue. Somebody called out to me when I was at the lead this field on my bike. Michan, hello. Oh God, we gotta do this facade with her now. Oh God. I'd never seen this girl before. Luckily, she called me Michan. There's only one person who refers to Mion that way, as far as I know. Reina. I'm surprised to see you here. Her name is Reina Ryugu. Her real name is Rena, god damn it. But she wants to be called Reina. At this point, I'm just going Reina. I don't care anymore. Every time I think I get it right, someone else says, I'm getting it wrong. I go back and listen to the official voice clips. There's that way. Apparently, that's not the right way to do it. Never again. Never again. Always Reina. Like the rain in the sky. So that's what we call her. She moved here in April. I had some information on her, but it was all ambiguous. Sis was still a bit uncertain about her, since she's so new. It was hard for me to handle someone like that. Ah, so this is around the time, I guess, the club would start, like, being put into motion then. I didn't know how to act around her as Mion, so I decided to pretend to be in an obvious sulky mood. That way she wouldn't talk to me as much, assuming that Mion was simply feeling bad. Well, that's how I really am, anyway. Grumpy goes. Are you going home, Michan? Yeah. You're not feeling well? Sorry. Let's go together, then. I wanted to say I'd rather be alone, but there's only one road to Hinamizawa. So asking me alone would look odd. The only way to not seem suspicious would be to walk home with her. Yeah, oh boy. This is gonna go bad so quickly. Going into enemy territory. Yeah, let's go. Inadvertently being manipulated to go down the road. Into the war zone. God. Reina quietly nodded. I like my bike. Michan, do you have an umbrella? Nope. It might rain soon. Did Rika tell you that? Let's hurry a bit since you don't have one. It's gonna be so interesting that I'm trying to do trying to always put the narration and Shamion's voice be around the same, just because I'm out wearing her head, and also voicing other high pitched girl characters, trying to do unique voices for them. That's gonna be so goddamn interesting. So many voices are the exact same. As she predicted, we were tapped by pouring rain on our way. Well, as long as you drive fast enough, the rain won't touch you. That's how science works. The physics. We end up taking shelter in a small shack in front of a bus stop. It's pouring, but it doesn't look like it's going to last long since the sky over there is clear. Yeah. Yeah, I figured I was here. I heard the sound of rain pattering the rooftop and the raindrops jumping into puddles. Man, that just happened earlier today, honestly. It was pouring down rain. I can just see it off, I'm outside the main window of my house. Man, rain is so calming. It sounded loud, but it made me feel strangely calm. I zoned out for a moment. Then Raina talked to me while looking up at the rainy sky. You know, I was worried about you, because you looked so down. All the baseball team members knew I was depressed because I hadn't seen Satoshi-kun recently. Most of them attended school in Hinamizawa, so it wasn't surprising that she knew as well. I hadn't been able to contact Sis these past few weeks. I was sure she had an idea how I feel about Satoshi-kun, how I would feel if he didn't come to his baseball practice. Sis was probably pretending to act a little depressed during her day-to-day in Hinamizawa to avoid creating a big gap between our moods. But neither of us knew the details about the other right now. So she wouldn't be able to answer if others asked her what was wrong. She'd only be able to say, leave me alone. It might lead more people to become worried. Raina must have thought Mion was depressed. That must be why she came all the way to see me. She must have known what was going on because she knew that I was at the baseball field. So Do you feel lonely because Satoshi-kun is avoiding us? Oh, is this the whole lead-up thing? Oh, but god damn it, I'm a self-isolation, I'm a baseball thing and all that. Having to deduce what's been going on with Satoshi-kun from what she just said. He'd been distancing himself from others lately because of exhaustion. That's what it sounded like, at least. He looked like he was very worried about Sadako-chan. I think he's really on edge. I feel bad for him. He really cares about his sister. He has a lot of courage. What I said sounded hollow, as I knew too well how much a burden Sadako had become. Oh my god. But I think he'd feel even worse if he also looked that depressed. I think. I don't want that. I know. But if you really don't, then you need to smile for him. Otherwise, he might really feel cornered. I know you're strong. You can smile. Even if just pretend. So I want you to smile no matter what. You know that lies can become true sometimes. Oh, yes, the second you bring this up, oh, yes, definitely. You're my forte now. What she was saying, in a nutshell, was this. Well, Satoshi-kun and Sadako were totally wiped out. If Mia was also depressed, even though she's the sort of person who usually lightens the mood, the situation would be stuck in a vicious cycle. Reina sounded more like she was trying to give me advice than trying to console me. She must be more mature than she looks. Sis told me that she was a funny girl with a few bad habits, but she seemed to have another very mature side to her. Do you love Satoshi-kun? Yeah. Though I shouldn't have told her that. I immediately responded. Well, in that case, why don't you smile then? Reina smiled herself. I believe Satoshi-kun will feel better if he sees you smile. I know you feel powerless now, but your smile will give him strength. I know what you're saying, but it's not that easy. Reina giggled and nodded. He'll come back after he's done with his part-time job. His part-time job? I almost asked that question, but I managed to stop myself. The tone of Reina's voice sounded like something everyone knew. And if everyone knew that, then does the whole school technically know what this is? Not the whole thing with Mion and Shion's situation of getting a job and being putting around if it not technically being a quote unquote job because family work. So does this even qualify? Let's not dig into it. Dig too deep into it. The tone of Reina's voice sounded like it was something everyone knew. His part-time job, huh? Wonder when it'll end. Until he has enough money, I guess. Yeah, I know that's technically part of what happened. He got a job, plus money to for the teddy bear and all of that from Sadako. But I'm just wondering exactly how he got around the school thing with that. It's an open secret to everyone except for the school staff. Until he has enough money, I guess. Well, you finished by Sadako-chan's birthday, at the latest. I tried to figure out what was going on from what she said. I had to listen very carefully to uncover the whole picture. Satoshi couldn't see you working in order to make some money. I don't think it's easy to find a job when you're still in school. This might have had something to do with it. His job only seemed temporary. It seemed to have something to do with Sadako's birthday. It wasn't difficult to figure out. Satoshi was working and saving up to buy his little sister something expensive for her birthday. He was trying to comfort her, even though he's so torn up himself. Sadako, again. Satoshi-kun was already worn out because of her, and he was now working for her sake, even though he was exhausted. How stupid. It'd be easier for him to just forget about Sadako. Okay. I started when I realized Reina was looking straight into my eyes. Okay, I'm back up, push, shove, every time. Make a precedent. She was smiling, but her eyes looked creepy. I never voiced what I was thinking, but she was looking at me as though she figured out I was blaming Sadako. She beamed when she noticed my fear. She smiled as though she understood that I thought that way because of love. She was giving me the creeps. I could hear thunder roar in the distance. Rain began to pink up. Well, you're stuck here under this bus stop forever now. Do you feel jealous of Sadako-chan because she monopolizes Satoshi-kun? I avoided answering immediately this time, but Reina seemed to know what I was thinking already. I won't be upset if you did. You certainly seemed like that way from the piercing glare. That's just how it is when you're in love. Thanks. You've been encouraging Sadako-chan despite that. That's admirable. Of course I have. She's my friend. It sounded so fake. I felt like spitting in the floor. Well, all we can do is encourage Sadako-chan and Sadako was relying on Satoshi-kun way too much. I mean, if she were stronger, he wouldn't have to suffer in her place. You seem really straightforward. She nodded with an unflinching smile, even though my remarks could be taken as harsh. What was this mysterious girl thinking? It was difficult to get a read on her. Well, at the very least, doesn't seem like Reina even figured out that Mion and, like, Shion are two different people, or, like, even that Mion has a twin this whole entire time, so, yeah, no. So, yeah, she doesn't know. Unless she was lying to everyone, even to Keiichi. Ah, I teach him a lesson. God damn it. Maybe Satoshi-kun feels that way a little, too. Hmm? She kept smiling, but her smile looked strangely cold. I think he's tired of protecting Sadako-chan, and he's aware of that. The type of person Reina is. I don't think she'd say something if she wasn't certain of it. Because of that, she must have been confident in what she just told me. Why do you think that? I mean, honestly, it does make sense. But from just, like, how he seems and all that, it doesn't seem like it'd be entirely, like, his own thing. Especially since, he did get a teddy bear for her. Even if he had those feelings, it wouldn't be, like, that strong. Like, sure, there's a whole bit of resentment there, but it doesn't seem like it's that debilitating, I guess you can say. I'm trying to think of a better word for it. Like, he understands, but he doesn't blame her about it. Like, again, yeah, always protecting her and all that. But yeah, it makes sense, like, to have that tiny bit. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and it always makes you get in a bad mood, no matter what it is, you start trying to avoid it too, or at least trying to, I guess, find some way in your own brain to, I guess, get an outlet for it in some certain way or form. Yeah, I had that several times before. I can say that much. He said so. What? Satoshi-kun secretly confessed to her. Reina asked me to keep it that way. I mean, Satoshi-kun told me that he felt tired of protecting Sadako-chan. He was feeling guilty, though. I don't think he would say something like that. But, however, it wasn't likely that Reina was lying, unless she's doing a double con. Oh my god! I just met her, so I didn't know what made me feel that way. But my hunch told me that she was telling the truth. I heaved a huge sigh. Satoshi-kun must have gotten so tired that he couldn't help telling someone. I mean, what was it? There is that whole thing of, like, dealing with their whole life as well. I know there's certain things about my own sister which I find annoying, but, like, yeah. Like, we're still close. Don't know if it'd be just enough to abandon each other like that. It's, like, normal for, like, any kind of relationship, friendship and otherwise. You're gonna find some fault with them which you can't really, reconcile with. Either you work through it or just accept it. That's really just how it is. Even, like, more romantic situations, like, if you have a crush or, like, love someone. It's like how Shion is. Like, learning that Satoshi is, like, very a klutz, basically. Like, very chronically clumsy at the time. And she just fine, like, just accepting a part of him. So, oh, shoot, sorry. Satoshi-kun must have gotten so tired that he couldn't help telling someone. Even so, even if he thought that way, he wouldn't tell somebody so easily. That means Reina was interrogating him. Ah, torture methods. Maybe Reina led him to do so. Well, there's a whole thing, interrogating someone, torture and all that, then they would say then no matter what, you can't take anything they say as fact or, the truth, because, they'll say anything that comes to mind, even if it's the truth, a lie, or literally just something made up on the spot. Interrogation does not mean anything. Movies are lying to you. The media is lying to you. Fiction is not real. Should I be capable of something like that? I don't understand this girl. It's only been a little while since we met, but I'd already started talking about something I was keeping deep inside of me. Does she have some kind of supernatural power to reach into people's minds and track out what they're thinking? I don't know about that way, but, like, charismatic, or, like, I guess I guess no, that'd be the right thing. But I guess I'm crafty or charismatic enough to, like, get you to say what you're thinking, like, in roundabout terms. Something hit me that I was sitting with this creepy girl in a tiny shack. and dragged into her strange world. I don't think Sis has realized Reina's true personality. She thinks Reina's just a funny girl with some strange habits. And definitely by the next year, I think Mion understands a bit more about that. If the whole thing about well, part and parcel doesn't understand, doesn't catch on to like small things of like what people's wrong with them. But I guess she sees the broad strokes of the third installment has anything to do with it, smack aside the head and all that. She would have told me if she knew. Well, unless she noticed something along this whole thing. Okay, this is an ACG. And Raina's face is getting revived from the very first installment of I'm sorry. I need to finish and reading through that installment all over again. Because again, I'm getting caught up in the whole thing of Mion and like threatening Keiichi, but the very next time they I guess talk again, she acts like she's never did anything of the sort. Like not even like creep him out. And even like refusing it doesn't even like seem to think the whole needle and the mochi thing would even be taken as a bad thing anyway after all that. It just feels very weird, especially with the whole cat eyes thing with him basically like muttering loudly that she would kill Oishi after hearing about it from Keiichi. Yeah. I guess Satoshi-kun must trust you a lot if he confessed that to you. I'm a little jealous. It's not because he trusts me. It's because I experienced the same thing. You what? You just covered for your siblings once? Oh, I thought you were an only child, though. Or, oh, for a friend. Oh, is this leading to the whole thing with I guess maybe a tiny bit of what happened with Reina, of oh, she mentioned of there was no clear cause, like, unless anything like that, or at least no that the friends never brought it up, so unless like there was some argument that happened there which stressed her out so much that she decided to go door to door, room to room to like break down of her window, they're like her friends at her old school are not going to say a thing. You what? Did you also cover for your siblings once? Those footsteps always followed me. I see. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright. Okay, then. So the ghost transfer from Reina to Keiichi, the first and third installment. Definitely. Definitely speaking. Just the head pats literally transfer the ghost around. That's how it is. My god. That's how the ghost positions happen. That's how it is. Oh my god. Everyone isolate. It's a virus. Those footsteps always followed me. They even came to my bedside and looked down at me. Huh? Sorry, Reina. What are you talking about? I turned around to face her and got the chills. Hi. Though she was smiling, her eyes looked ice cold. I trembled and froze my eyes open. Have you experienced anything like that? I guess not. Probably. What is up with this girl? Reina kept laughing self-derisively. I tried to figure out what she was saying. Have you ever thought about leaving Hinamizawa and moving to a big city? Have you ever thought of doing something like that? I didn't respond. Reina waited for my answer, urging me to speak with her silence. No? I love it here. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? I knew that. It didn't seem like a good idea to lie to her. Reina has some kind of power I can't grasp. She can read people's minds just by seeing the slightest change in their expressions. So I tell her the truth. You'll be okay if that's true. Oh yeah, Shiro-sama won't get mad at you. Oh yeah, Shiro-sama. Okay, we're getting to this again. Oh my god. Oh yeah, Shiro-sama. That's Hinamizawa's guardian deity. It also makes sense, like, we're actually gonna get a tiny bit of maybe some, I guess, deep dive into how Reina acts and all that. Especially when the Answers arc. Interesting. Interesting parables and all that. Coinciding. I couldn't understand why she mentioned that name. My mind stopped for a moment. That's right. Oh, you're Shiro-sama. Yes, what was the deity's name again? Oh yeah, Shiro-sama Roshio. She calmly repeated the name as if trying to teach me something. Yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, Shiro-sama never allows heathens to desecrate Hinamizawa. Oh yeah, Shiro-sama never allows the villagers to leave either. Those are the rules. Slowly, I recall the fear the curse would supposedly cause the dismemberment murder and the death of the Hojo couple. When I was sent to the institution, I had this fear. I was scared that if I went to that faraway boarding school, I'd fall under the curse. But I should be okay. Like your town over, so meh. I escaped from the school and returned to my hometown, to Okinomiya to be precise. Oh well, there's a slight thing there with rain anyway like that. Oh boy, it should be okay according to the kids' rules because I love Hinamizawa. I mean, the hag forced me to live this suffocating life, but I still chose to stay in this place. I don't believe in breaking Oyashiro-sama's rules. Unless something about what you done is gonna get the Satoshers to go missing, then yeah. It reminds me again of like it's like Sadako mentioning she actually accidentally broke a statue in the ritual storehouse, and like maybe that on some level that actually contributed to like her rebellious nature and all that. Again, that's how it is for me about trying to you feel like fate is gonna like make you go even worse and worse, and you want to defy against in some way, whether it's either like physical or just mentally like that. Like if like just because you did one act and you've like tried to do everything, you kind of get forgiven for it, but still you're being punished for it over and over to a point, and it gets too like cynical, or I guess aggressive, or just too demeaning or condescending for it, then yeah, then I think you too would just like become more rebellious and all that. Oh boy. Oh boy, and the more I just hear things around the world, yay, it doesn't seem to be well. Fate sucks. If fate is a real thing, if hear about any people's like situation is actually a thing, so that means it was their fate to be in that situation in their life, which is a shitty thing to have happen to anyone. Then, my God, if fate and destiny is real, then they're terrible. Whoever even like penned down that design, they're terrible. Even though the Sonozaki family had selfishly banished me to a remote place, I came back here anyway. Well, your Shiro-sama should even bless me for that. I guess I'm trying to convince myself that the curses imply to me, but I think I'm still afraid of it. I love this place, so I don't think I qualify for Shiro-sama's curse. You could even call me a model villager. Yes, I think so too. But I'm not sure about Satoshi-kun. Oh god. Why? Satoshi-kun wants to leave Hinamizawa and run far away. Even if only unconsciously. No, that's even more fucked up then. If that's true. Oh my god. If literally just like your body unconsciously wants to run away. Oh, because your fate basically puts you in a situation and it feels like your brain wants to like get away from the unconscious no matter what, which is a normal reaction for anyone to have, then you get blamed for that as well. Holy shit. That's again just another giant fucking cycle then, no matter what happens. That's self-defeating. I gave an inaudible cry. While I was feeling sad about that Satoshi-kun hadn't showed up for practice, he still lived in Hinamizawa, so I never even considered the thought of him going away. Like, the sound of this is also different. It feels more foreboding, honestly, and dreadful, honestly, than the other times I heard this. That's just because I keep hearing it so many times. The same soundbite. Oh boy. Just a different pitch makes it go a long way. Are you saying that he wants to skip town? Yes. He's not aware of himself, though. He probably didn't notice until Oyashiro-sama stood by his bed. I still had no idea what she's talking about. Oh, so the footsteps of the leaders. Oh yeah, Shiro-sama just guiding everyone. Keiichi, you pick up the baseball bat. Kill him, but I'll blame you for it anyway, and everyone dies in the town. I'll leave you for last. Yes, do it all by my cruel design. Wahaha. Yeah. I continue trying to figure out what she was saying. Everything he's going through is a sign of Oyashiro-sama's curse. You feel like someone's watching you from a distance, and it follows you, then it watches from right behind you. After that, you start hearing an extra footstep. It only happens outside at first. You start hearing it even inside your house after a while. Then, Oyashiro-sama keeps watching you even when you're sleeping in the dark. Right by your side, waiting, silently, for you to admit your sin. Satoshi-kun told me he was having nightmares at first, so I asked him what kind of dreams he was having. And those dreams he was having, as it turned out, were just like mine. I warned him the presence would become bigger. He'd hear an extra footstep, and feel the presence watching him in his sleep. I told him to come to me if that ever happened. He must have been suspicious at first, but just as I predicted, he started to feel Oyashiro-sama's presence once more, again, strongly. He finally realized he could talk to me about it. Rain didn't look like she was joking. She just calmly told me what had been going on. I couldn't even move. I couldn't even tell her if her words were a joke or the truth. I can only feel stunned. I'm from Hinamizawa originally, but I moved to the Ibaraki prefecture right before I went to elementary school. However, when I couldn't adjust to my new environment, Oyashiro-sama frequently started telling me to return to Hinamizawa, in my head. But I couldn't do anything since I was just a little kid. Which yeah, again, more bonus points from bad deity. I was forced to live there, but I felt threatened by Oyashiro-sama's voice. Then... She paused. Like she didn't want to go into the details of what followed. In general, she confused me even more. Well, anyway, I was able to come back here in the end. Oyashiro-sama forgave me. I haven't felt his presence anymore since then. Well, I mean, in the first installment, you were talking about me and about how you felt you were being targeted again, so... What exactly did you feel like you did in the first installment at the very least that made you feel like you'd be targeted again then? Satoshi-kun is being subjected to the curse even though he's in Hinamizawa. Why? There can only be one reason. Because he wishes to abandon Hinamizawa. Oyashiro-sama won't allow that. In a series of inner monologues, he confessed. You know he's working part-time, don't you? The teddy bear he's getting for Sadako-chan costs about 100,000 yen. Trying to get the money by her birthday. Have you noticed it yet? Think about it like this. If he had that amount of money, that'd be enough for him to run away somewhere far from here. It's making it almost sound like you're slowly actually trying to manipulate him to go outside and leave the town outright. That's what it seems like how you're phrasing all this right now. Like, oh my god. He unconsciously started to think about that. About leaving Sadako-chan behind. But he'd feel very guilty. I mean, as you pointed out, Sadako-chan is a burden on him. He's not stupid, so he's aware of that. He just doesn't want to admit it. I guess he's the one who's supposed to protect his little sister. He's been struggling with himself. He thinks he's working to please Sadako-chan on her birthday. He also feels that he might be deceiving himself, because he consciously wants to skip town with that money. I don't think he should run away. Even if he did, he'd regret it for the rest of his life. Oyashiro-sama knows that. That's why Oyashiro-sama is trying to warn him. The footsteps are literally just a warning to everyone then? It was a warning. So exactly what then did Keiichi do if the whole curse thing is real? Then afterwards I can't think of anything that Keiichi did especially wrong after he killed Tepe Hojo. As weird as that sounds, he did nothing. He didn't do anything wrong after that. But like, in terms of the curse, there doesn't seem to be anything that sticks out top of my head, the very least. Or at least maybe then I wasn't paying attention to that because the whole murder thing anyway. That's double layered of narrative right there. But yeah. The only thing I guess you can say about footsteps, like happening the first time, was like after Reina started talking about it. Hold on a second. Was the whole footsteps thing ever brought up? Or like, well, like, I know it's never brought up and like pointed to as I guess a focal point in anything. Like no one brought it up. At least like Keiichi started physically experiencing it. I mean, to the sound of even Reina and like if Satoshi here like felt to like when no one started talking about it. So it's a collective thing. So then what causes that then? Massive stress, but Satoshi has only been having this recently. He and Sadako would be more stressed than anyone else out. So it's not that. So it's not that, so what is it then? I don't think he should run away. And if he did, he regretted it for the rest of his life. Oyashiro-sama knows that. Looks like Oyashiro-sama is trying to warn him. I hope Satoshi-kun stops thinking of abandoning Sadako-chan. He's working hard to make it to Sadako-chan's birthday, which is a couple of days after the Watanagashi festival. He's pushing himself too hard. He believes it'll end when Sadako-chan's birthday comes. The curse keeps cautioning him. He tries to figure out whether he should leave or continue protecting her. The torrential rain didn't seem to want to stop. It kept pouring down on the galvanized iron roof, producing a loud noise. In the shack, it fell completely silent. What the hell was Reina talking about? Crazy talk. I couldn't grasp even half of what she was saying. The only thing I figured out is that Satoshi-kun was struggling, confused, and in lots of pain. He's suffering from Oyashiro-sama's curse? And Reina has experienced that before? The Watanagashi festival was right around the corner. Oyashiro-sama's curse has struck 3 years in a row. No. There was no guarantee that it wouldn't strike a fourth time. Satoshi-kun was subject to Oyashiro-sama's curse even now? Was he gonna skip town? Was he gonna be the next victim of Oyashiro-sama's curse? Either way, he might disappear forever. Could I do something to prevent it? If I didn't do anything, it'll come to a hopeless end. An end? I started feeling a sense of dread. No, I didn't buy the crazy story Reina told me. But if something really was happening to Satoshi-kun, which might bring about some kind of an end, I couldn't help feeling scared. It's true, isn't it? My instinct is always correct. The gnome bites and it pinpricks into your brain. I decided to contact Mion despite the danger. Mion got upset at first, but should have listened to me. Sis, what's going on with Satoshi-kun? He looks really stressed out. I can't even talk to him. What do you mean? You don't know what's going on because you can't talk to him? Sorry. Sis, give me another chance to trade spots again. That's fine. I'm kind of busy lately attending meetings for the festival. What do you plan to do? Another part-time job? I'm going to your school. Okay, ooh. That's a cliffhanger if anything. Notebook page 21, 24. I think this is all Shion's notebooks then. It's only going back and forth between them, yeah, it's only going back and forth between the two of them. Possessed. Heard a story about Oyashiro-sama. Nice. That's a bus stop sign. Wow, nice. Actually, before going into it, I had this thought, like, when we were going, like, Rain was telling about the whole story thing. It reminds me a tiny bit, hopefully I don't, like, didn't forget about a tiny bit from my train of thought, like, going through the whole scene. But, it does remind me a tiny bit that like, even if they recognize that something bad is happening in some capacity, they lament about it, of course, but, like, they wouldn't be able to stop anything, like, about it happening if they noticed it. Like, both Mia doesn't notice the small details, honestly. Reina can notice, like, someone's lying, but because they're, like, thinking of, oh, you're Shiro-sama, and, like, I guess meddling with him, I guess, what his design and plan would be if, like, she does, like, if she believes, like, the person who's in trouble is, like, being targeted, she will let it happen. Plus her, like, philosophy of, like, just living life, until it all just goes crashing down, like, to the fullest. Don't get too, like, focused or centralized on something bad happening and just move on from it. And, like, of course, Mion's, like, small thing of philosophy of him, as a leader of him, gets slowly cut out dissenters, or, like, getting one who's, like, I guess, splitting from the group or anything like that. They're trying to calm him down in some way, or they're trying to set them straight. It's all, like, coincidentally all matching up with them, letting things happen, take their course, which, again, goes the whole wait-and-see approach, but a more, negative thing of, they can see it happening, maybe they can do something to stop it, but they're gonna let it happen anyway, based on both different ways. They think this is all by fate's ledger, or like we shouldn't worry about that person and actually cut them out of our group or our life, or just the whole outsiders thing. That's what it kind of feels like. And what was it? I think in some way, I'm trying to think if there's another way to think about applying that to maybe Rika and Sadako. Like, Sadako's whole thing is definitely of like, taking on that burden because of so many things happening, and, like, her rebellious nature, like, slowly just took a toll on like, even though she acts that way in a person, like, she's not gonna, I guess, try to stop it when it comes to, like, something, another bad thing happening, because it's so many bad things already happened again, which seem to coincide with them, coincidentally happening with them, the curse itself, that feels like she can't stop it anyway. She tried, and maybe even make it worse. And Rika's whole thing is, she knows she's gonna die in the future. She knows that people are, like, she knows certain people are gonna literally die, no matter what, but she doesn't know what happens on the 5th year. She's the entire thing, and, like, whether or not she knows how to stop it or not, like, the sound of it, she doesn't know how to. She doesn't know who even causes it, but she knows it's guaranteed to happen some way, shape, or form, somehow, in some way, but she feels like she can't stop it herself. Especially since yeah, actually, that's what it feels like the whole group is all like, actually. Yeah. And, like, Keiichi's always, like, the neutral party anyway, in that case. Like, trying to do things, like, like, of how he can, but in some inverted way, then going right into, I guess, stupid fate's hands and all that. Or literally just going to, like, continuing the design in some shape or form, or, yeah. It must not occur. So now I'm just not thinking about it. It almost feels like mass hysteria, too. That's what it feels like, but I can't say anything more than that, because I don't even know. Because it showed up in a few other games and all that. Like, I remember points that they came up in AI the Somnium Files, and that's why it, like, sticks in my head a bit, but ever since that game, because that fascinated me a tiny bit, of, like, everyone, like, collectively going ill and thinking of something that realistically shouldn't happen. Plus, it's usually every time it happens in history, which I need to look into more, it feels like there's no direct cause for it anyway. Like, for example, like, some people started randomly dancing in the street, and then, slowly when people saw it, they decided, like, they started dancing too, but they kept dancing and dancing, they couldn't stop themselves until they dropped dead from exhaustion. Stuff like that. Like, there's no real cause for it. It just feels like it just happened just because. Which, another way, I guess you could say, is like Fate's Ledger, then. I want to, like, I guess another way how you can interpret this story, then. It's all mass hysteria. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, boy. Notebook page 21. Why don't I relate my encounter with that creepy girl in the rain? Her name is Reina Ryugu. Her real first name is Reina, always Reina. No matter what it is, it's always Reina. We sat with Reina in the rain. We talked about her name, which is Reina. I have no idea what kind of girl she really is. One thing is certain. She has no relation to the Sonozaki family. She has no relation to the three families as a whole either. The Ryugu family used to live in Hinamizawa, but then they moved to Ibaraki. That was before she went to elementary school. Then they returned to Hinamizawa some years later. Reina Ryugu said she came back because Oyashiro-sama told her to. I don't think that's the exact reason why her parents had moved back either, too, but, like, did they relent because she started telling that to her parents, or... Was it the parents' own decision without Reina even mentioning it at all? I don't know what that means. She said it was the curse of Oyashiro-sama, that Oyashiro-sama had stalked her. I think that was probably hallucination, but Satoshi-kun had been interested in that experience, too. She said that Satoshi-kun was also experiencing Oyashiro-sama's curse. Satoshi-kun told her that he was being followed by some unknown existence. He's surprised to learn that Reina had the same experience before. Why did I not just realize this now? It almost feels like mass hysteria. Like, Well, like, I guess it's not the whole thing of, like, someone experiencing in one way or another, but, like, I guess in some way, there, maybe it feels like it could happen. It's mass hysteria again. Like, people, like, see these patterns, and, like, when it feels like they coalesce together, then it goes into that. It could also be mass hysteria. I don't know how it would be entirely then. That's why everyone thinks it's supernatural then. And then everyone just, like, blames, I guess, the supernatural on it. That, or, like, takes matters in their own hands, like, to stop it in some way, shape, or form. Oh, God. Oh, God, I'm getting riled up again. God damn it. He's surprised to learn that Reina had the same experience before. What is Oyashiro-sama's curse? Why did Reina and Satoshi-kun have a similar experience? I believe that means that somebody put them under surveillance. Somebody must be spying the next victim of the curse. Since Reina and Satoshi-kun both blindly believed in Oyashiro-sama's curse, they interpreted it as Oyashiro-sama's presence. They're being stalked or followed, or like was another thing of why everyone would like want to focus in on those people. Why target them anyway? Especially with some of them like have no real involvement. Exactly what happened in the past. Especially the Keiichi. Easily just an outsider. He wasn't even targeted for the whole, I guess, first dead, first missing curse. That was targeted afterwards for some reason. This doesn't entirely feel... It feels weird. There was Keiichi did mention in he did have the same experience in the nightmares, and like he couldn't sleep a few times. I think that was both in the first and third installment. Like I think after killing Teppei and all that, and also after learning about Reina was listening to his whole entire conversation. He felt like she was stalking him in some way. There's that too. And then it could also be that he like maybe he had some experience with stalking and that's what he contributed to. But if no one ever felt stalked before, like well, we don't know anything more about Reina's circumstances, but there is a connection with after like of course maybe a certain point that Toshi got more and more exhausted because of the uncle, like the uncle and aunt situation. He also starts feeling that he can't really do anything without feeling like their presence around him. But like especially with Keiichi also realizing the same way with learning that Reina was outside his door. Oh, and that makes sense actually. If Reina completely believed in the curse as a kid before moving, then it started like happening in her brain that she got so scared about as a kid, then it just internalized in her brain. That's why she also felt like she's being stalked until it went away as she got back to Hinamizawa and fell back in line. That makes a lot of sense actually. Yeah, it actually is mass hysteria if that's what it feels like now so far. Man. Don't throw away the demon stuff now. Man, I'm going back and forth on that now. God damn it. Man. Like, I'm in 3 solid chapters of supernatural gunks and theories. Even trying to think of ways of how a person's behind all this. But again, like, since this chapter does mention about like the culprit's motive is unheard of, then that technically just means that is the culprit even a tangible force, not even supernatural way, but it's literally just a whole collective thing instead. The motive is difficult to figure out because there technically is no motive, if that's true. That's another way to read it. Hmm. Hmm. It does make sense as well with the whole old demon thing. Oh, and if like me, I'm like in the second stump of the whole the whole thing in her name as well, and like believing that she's now like no longer a person, all of that, like kicking into all that. Hmm. But like, doesn't explain exactly why she felt the need to kill everyone though. That's definitely not a thing. So like, it could be like there's a lot of things pointing to mass hysteria, and some supernatural elements in some way as well, and also just a bunch of people stalking each other, and I'm blindly doing all that again. Like there's three distinct possibilities, honestly. And thinking about it, mass hysteria actually completely falls in line with both supernatural and its people, because people make the supernatural affects the people around them, and then it's the people's doing themselves. So they get affected by the supernatural, which apparently the people made the supernatural happen. My God, that's so interesting to think about. Just that's so interesting. Man, just don't throw away the whole demon thing in the past, please. That's all I say. I'll say that as many times as I need to. Don't throw away the whole demon stuff in the past. That is so fascinating to hear anyway. Man, I have not heard that ever like in any other kind of story. That seems too interesting, even though I guess it's a supernatural fantasy type thing. My God, I want someone to do that idea more if this story doesn't go into that more. Man, God, that feels like we missed potential if so. God. If paranoia kicked in, they'd feel as if they were experiencing paranormal phenomena. Judging from what Reina said, it seems that Satoshi-kun had been put on surveillance since long before Wanta Nagashi. But why would he be targeted, though, if it's not a mass hysteria, then? And again, of course, that leads to why anyone even want to target them to like kill this person to do that, unless they feel like it literally slowly comes into like Keiichi also technically was behind one thing. But that's the other thing of it does make sense for like the whole outsider who like arrested from the aunt's murder then, because like he was also heavily influenced, like at least tell the police that his motive to kill someone was he was influenced by Oishiro so much, like, you know, do that, like, you know, be part of like long-standing a curses thing, but he had no affiliation, and for the first 2 years there was nothing to do about that. So how did he hear about the media blackout stuff then? Huh. Especially since he had no affiliation with the town itself. So, one question comes to mind. Why were they watching Reina? Missing that the surveillance was placed on a victim-to-be of that year. If so, I don't understand why Reina went through it. Why did they watch her, even though she was living so far away? If she was considered somebody who banned the village, I could understand. But she didn't fall victim in the end, and literally from just the sounds of it, like, it doesn't make sense for why she would be targeted, because she was a kid, and her parents moved away, and took her with her. Obviously, she had no say in the matter. She was too young to do anything. Like, she'd only follow along with her family. That's literally it. So why be targeted? Unless there's something else going on. It's purely mass hysteria. Maybe she was forgiven because she came back to Hinamizawa. I guess she still knows something I don't. Yeah, and especially after the whole festival happens. You don't really talk to Rain, I guess, as under your identity Shion, so like, I wonder what made you, like, I guess, slow or stop your search, like, you know, finding out what happened to Satoshi then. I'm actually curious about that then. Satoshi couldn't look terrible. When he went home, he had to mediate a fight between Sadako and their aunt. He became mentally exhausted. Make it sound like you were witness this from his window. He went to work every day. He became physically exhausted. He no longer communicated with his classmates. He either slept on his desk, or he was gone somewhere during lunch break. He used to be really gentle, was painful to see him suffering like that. On top of all that, he was dealing with the curse of Oyashiro-sama. He must have been completely, totally, absolutely exhausted. That curse is a form of surveillance by those planning to victimize Satoshi-kun that year. That means that the other victim was in the same situation. Satoshi-kun's aunt has also been watched. Also been watched? What do you mean? Did she notice any presence? What made you come to that conclusion? Hold on, where did that come from? Oh, this is late afterwards. Okay, so let's take place after like the whole situation happened. That's what it seems like. What about the others? Did the victims of the previous instance also experience it? I need to investigate the facts in order to prove the curse in Satoshi-kun was actually just surveillance. Is it surveillance? Paranoia? Or really the curse? Well, that goes another thing. I definitely need to look into mass hysteria, in other words. I was thinking about actually doing that when it first came up in any of the Somnium files. But like I got too enraptured with how that story was going, especially since it was only a small part of the story and it wasn't a main focal point, so I guess it dropped it then. That's actually interesting. Really interesting. There's that possibility now in my mind as well. I'm going back not from I guess people like that's how it is. I haven't like I don't at this point I don't think I've went back to like as an old theory. Mostly just they have evolved, honestly. And just how the game outlines itself, it all feels like it makes sense to me. But of course, if I'm dead set on something, as many of people would be, they would also start going to confirmation bias. But so far, I don't think I could see anything unless I'm like missing something, which just how it was before the second installment happened. I'm not realizing how the hell does Mion figure that Keiichi talked to the Oishi in the on a restaurant when she was definitely supposed to be at school when they had a conversation. When obviously of course the restaurant owner is all that are affiliated with Mion and all that, and Shion technically works there. Like we learn in the next installment. So stuff like we just don't have information on still, or the information is there but it's way too subtle, very subtle, very much more. And I think we're at chapter 4 in this of this installment anyway, and something tells me that chapter 6 is literally where I guess he goes missing and all that, and it's gonna be a whole other thing of like the how it continues from there. Especially since we already know at the very end, unless this story is going to do like the other scenarios where it's literally going to be its own, I guess, what if thing where something different happens. Like I guess the same victims happen anyway, but something different happens by the ending as another what if scenario anyway. There's always that possibility how the last one was. Like it seemed like it was gonna lead into it led into the Hinamizawa disaster, but like since Oishi was still alive, it literally would just swap his own, I guess, missing person thing with his partner. It could have been that whole thing. And based on the journals are, from Shion's point of view, it seems like no matter what, Satoshi and the aunt, sorry, they have been subject to the curse already. It's like set in stone. So like yeah, they're gonna go missing or dead, and then she at some point tries to like propel herself forward, probably get herself, I guess, spotted by her family, whether in some way, and then she feels you to drop it. But that's definitely the one thing. The one thing I'm most intrigued by of how they're gonna make a dramatic end to this, because they already did like the whole chapter 4, like installment 4 ending of I'll figure things out, like I'll figure it out just for your sake, Rika, and all that. Like unless they're gonna do that again, which I feel like they would put that a further bit ahead, like maybe like the next installment, the I guess the second installment from here. Like definitely not the last one because everything would be explained by then. Or at least you have all the pieces to pick it up anyway. If they don't explain every detail, you just have all the pieces then. If they don't give you like spout out exactly what exactly happened, you just have everything all together now, and you can piece things on your own, the little puzzle pieces, and you get the borders ready, and the answer arcs are basically just filling out the centerpieces. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. I really wanna know how they're gonna make a dramatic ending to this. I guess we'll find it out and much more for next time. So, hope a fun time watching as I am playing this. Hope to see you next time, what time that may be. And I all hope you fantastic day.